Let me at the outset, before I talk to you about women who excelled, let me go through how women were perceived by some male scholars. One of the important male scholar is Al-Imam al-Dhahabi. He's a well-known historian and he's a well-known muhaddith. And he wrote lots of biographies on his scholars during his time and the time before him. He has a book called Mizan al-I'tidal, which is a book listing all the muhaddithin, all the narrators of hadith, and then between inverted commas he would say to you, he would then assess this muhaddith to you. He is trustworthy, he is not trustworthy, he is doubtful. Not necessarily liar, but doubtful could mean, or not trustworthy means he forgets a lot. It's a big science of assessing people. Good and bad is not enough. You have to justify why he is good or why he is bad. The book of Mizan al-I'tidal has thousands of muhaddithin. 4,000 of those who are unreliable are males only. And then Imam al-Dhahabi comments by saying, I don't know of any woman who was known to be not trustworthy or doubtful or a liar. You should congratulate yourself in that. I don't know then why women lie about their age, but this is something else. So that's good news that we have great muhaddithat. Why would a muhadditha lie at the Prophet ﷺ? Why should a man lie? Well, because he's a man. According to Adhabi, not to me. So 4,000 liars, not a single one is a woman. I thought I would begin with this good news. There were many scholars that you know of, male scholars, that are proud to tell you who teachers were, and some of their teachers were women. Someone who is called Ibn Asakir, Al-Hafiz Ibn Asakir. Hafiz is not his name, it's a title. Hafiz is a Hafiz of Quran. Hafiz Ibn Asakir is a well-known scholar called Ibn Asakir, well-known historian, and well-known muhaddith. He had hundreds of teachers. His over 80 teachers were women. 80 of the teachers that he had were women. I stopped for a while and thought and said, I did GCSE, I did A-levels, I did BA, MPhil, MA, and then a PhD. And then I listed all the names of my teachers. James, John, Tim. And then I listed the names of my female teachers. They were 3, 4, 5 against 20, 30, 40. He had 80 odd teachers, 80 teachers. And you know what is amazing? It's not just the number. What is amazing is that in a patriarchal male society and in a discipline that is a male discipline, he is proud to list a name to you to tell you, these were my teachers. A lot of them were women. He's proud to say this to his wife. He's proud to say this to his colleagues in a coffee shop, in a cafe. He's proud. Wallahi, brothers, I asked the brothers, sisters, please go away. I asked the brothers, would you be proud going and saying to a brother, I'm going to this sister to attend a talk? Or my teacher was so-and-so, you might be proud. But although this is a liberal culture, what about this culture? Of Imam al-Dhahabi saying women never lie. Of Imam Ibn Asakir saying 80-something of my teachers were women. And Ibn Asakir was living in the eastern part of the Middle East. He never traveled to the western part or never had teachers from the western part. Some historians say that the female teachers in the western side were more than the teachers, female that is, in the eastern side. When we say eastern, we mean Iraq, Mecca, Medina, Syria, Damascus. When we say western side, we mean Tunisia, Morocco, Algeria, and Andalus, Spain. So even when you go to the west, not to London, not to Birmingham, no, to the west of the Muslim world, female were even more than 80. I then began to research I was looking for men, great men. I said, look, to appeal to the audience, you have to mention great men. But look behind the shoulder of this great men and use these great men to introduce women behind their shoulders. So who are the great men that you know? You know someone called Ibn al-Qayyim, don't you? Ibn al-Qayyim al-Jawziyya. One of his teachers was a woman that was called Fatima bint Jawhar. You know Imam Ibn Taymiyyah, don't you? Well, Imam Ibn Taymiyyah might not have had a female teacher, but he had a female troublemaker in knowledge. Troublemaker, between inverted commas, coming and asking him difficult questions. And he thought that this woman was a genius, more genius than a lot of the men. And some historians say that he used to prepare specially for her. And this is something, by the way, I know and appreciate as a teacher. Sometimes I'm going to teach 30 students on a daily basis, but there is this girl or there is this boy. And when she is absent, I am the happiest of the happy. Because I know that when she comes, she's going to ask difficult questions. And she's not going to nod her head as easily as you think. You have to persuade and marshal and mobilize lots of dates and lots of names and for her to say, okay, I'll think about it. Men or women, I'm talking about people who make you think. And these are the best audiences. These are the best students. I'm not asking you to be argumentative, but just to always question in a constructive sense. So Fatima bint Abbas was this woman that used to question, used to attend Ibn Taymiyyah's circle, and Ibn Taymiyyah used to be proud of her and used to mention her. And you're aware that Ibn Taymiyyah never got married, but he had a respectable relationship with Fatima. Fatima was not just a, between inverted commas, troublemaker. She had very healthy contact with other women. She used to be a good da'iyah. She used to teach them. So she was a scholar in her own right. Even Imam Dhahabi, he says in his book, when he talks about Fatima bint Abbas is a well-known scholar, by the way. He says, and I visited her many times. And look, male visit female in a context of respect, in companions, etc. But he says, وَقَدْ زُرْتُهَا وَأَعْجَبْنِي سَمْتُهَا وَخُشُوعًا. And I was impressed and fascinated with her aura, with her khushu', with her attitude. Imam Dhahabi, by the way, does not sell words for free. He does not, you are nice. Imam Dhahabi is a very, very critical muhaddith. And when he says to you, you are a cool guy, that means you are a cool guy. And when he says you are rubbish, you better commit suicide. Meaning that he means what he say, and most probably he is right. So don't ask him for a reference. Unless you are sure that he likes you. So for Imam al-Dhahabi to say, وَقَدْ زُرْتُهَا وَأَعْجَبَنِي سَمْتُهَا وَتَخَشُّعُهَا, and her khushu', I think this will add to her CV. Fatima, but she doesn't care anyway, because she was great anyway. But I'm telling you what the male community was saying about her, both Ibn Taymiyyah and Al-Hafidh al-Dhahabi. As-Sakhawi is another well-known scholar. He had 68 teachers. Imam Suyuti, a very well-known mufassir, muhaddith, and mu'arrikh, he had 33 teachers. It's knowledge that excels you on the top of society, not your sex, gender, ethnicity, origin, or your social background. And therefore, because of that, those male scholars never felt ashamed of saying, my teacher was Fatima. My teacher was a decent human being who happens to have been a woman. Then I said to myself, okay, are you going to talk to us about scholarly women? Well, this is something that has been exhausted now. Lots of tapes, lots of women scholars. I was then beginning to think, no, I should be looking for scholars who have taught men. Again, it's like made men, but now taught men, if you want. If you want another title for this theme, taught men, educated men. Men, be quiet, sit down, relax, and I will teach you. This is exactly what I'm getting at. This was the model that I was looking for. The immediate example is the example of Hafsa ibn Sirin, again, who was the sister, as you now know, of Muhammad ibn Sirin, the great mufassir and interpreter of dreams. She is a great tabi'i, for your information. So she saw companions. She saw Aisha radiallahu anha, and she accompanied Aisha radiallahu anha, and she learned from Aisha radiallahu anha. A male figure, who is well-known figure, who is called Iyas ibn Muawiyah al-Muzani. Iyas al-Muzani, a great spiritual scholar. He says, ما أدركت أحدا أفضله على حفصة. It's an amazing quote from a brother. Imagine a brother today says, my best speaker or scholar or role model is Sister Amina. You know Sister Amina, don't you? You don't? Well, it's just a name, I made it up.